Welcome to the City Current Show, powered by Hagen-Botham Insurance and Financial Services.
This show focuses on sharing good news and powering the good in our community. Now here's your host, City Current CEO, Jeremy Park.
Welcome back to the City Current Show, powered by Hagen-Botham. I'm your host, Jeremy Park. We're always honored to bring you inspiring stories of individuals and organizations making a difference and powering the good. And we love the power of radio. That's why we're honored to have with us Robby Grant, Executive Director, and JB, Program Manager and co-founder of WYXR. How are you two doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for having us.
Hey, I'm rocking it, man. I like that intro. You're great.
Well, you all know the power of radio. You also know the power of nonprofits and supporting the community and investing in, sharing positive stories. We're going to have a lot of great conversations, but let's start. Give us a little bit of history. Give us some background for WYXR.
Yeah, sure. We are 91.7 FM on the radio dial, but WYXR.org on the web. We launched out of the University of Memphis. Was looking to do something different with their station that was at the campus for over 20 years, looking to get more involved with the community. Looked at a few options and kind of settled on basically moving getting the station outside of the campus and finding a partner. So they ended up finding two partners in both the Daily Memphian and Crosstown Concourse. So the founding partners of the station are those two in University of Memphis. So we moved the station from the basement of the theater building over here in the Crosstown Concourse, and we decidedly we're going to change the format as well. I mean, I was involved as a consultant early on for about a year after they had already made the decision to move the station. And we wanted to have a community radio station that really represented all of, as much of Memphis as possible, representing different genres, different pockets. I mean, we talk about ourselves as 80% music and 20% talk. And just, we just kind of went deep and started finding DJs for the station.
Yeah, absolutely. I was at the Daily Memphian as a writer and a reporter, writing a lot about music, and also was DJing downtown. And this effort really came together right as the world was just falling apart with the pandemic, unfortunately. But it gave us an opportunity to really look inward, and people weren't being able to get outside. They were able to stay in and listen to the radio, or as they were going about their essential errands, they were able to find a social outlet through the station early on. That's our listeners, of course, and our audience, but also as well our volunteers who started with us from day one. This was probably one of the only ways that they could, even in their solitude in the studio by themselves, have outreach to the larger community in Memphis, and through our website and later our app, a global audience, and to share and express and have a touch point with their community. So it became a really precious commodity for those who were on air, but also for those who were listening to stay connected.
You have a physical station at Crosstown Concourse. And when you talk about the partnership, University of Memphis, Daily Memphian, Crosstown Concourse, being a nonprofit freeform radio station, talk about that collaboration. Talk about the physical location.
Sure. So we're in Crosstown Concourse. It's a 1.5 million square foot building. If you haven't been here, you should come check it out. We take up a very small footprint, but a pretty visible footprint. We're down right in the central atrium. We got a big window. Our DJs are in there. You can wave at them as you go by. And we've got infrastructure in the building where we've got a line that goes to the roof and sends the stereo signal 7 miles east to our transmitter. So that's pretty amazing. And we've got an office upstairs. We're on this really great hallway. We haven't quite named it yet, but a lot of other music folk, the Listening Lab, Matt Ross Banks studio, Jamie Harmon, Craig Brewer is our neighbor. So we've got a really creative, exciting hall that we're on. And then, we use the building for all types of, other things. We're always walking around, meeting people. It's having meetings just outside of the building as well.
Touch on the diversity, because you mentioned music, obviously talk, but you have a ton of local programs. And I know when you talk about like New Memphis and their Meanwhile in Memphis, you really provide a lot of access opportunities for amazing stories. So talk about that side of it.
Well, as program manager, my job at another station would probably be to look at charts and look at spreadsheets and find out what songs, what headlines are buzz topics, and, curate and the content itself. But for me, at a community radio station in a community as diverse as Memphis, I'm more of a facilitator. It's not completely laissez-faire, but it is my oversight of curating the people and the personalities and empowering them to use their voice and to find their sphere of influence, to invite in the conversations that are pertinent to their subsection of the city, their interest groups, their neighborhood, their religious community, whatever that may be, and to give them, my background as a journalist is having sort of that news gathering instinct, to have sort of the ethics and understand, how to have those conversations. And so to give them as many of those tools as possible that they feel confident and they feel empowered to facilitate and disseminate the music and the conversation that they feel most comfortable. And so that's really more my area of oversight is getting them to a place where they can feel comfortable broadcasting in that way. And so that opens up doors for all sorts of real moments, and it's real radio, and it happens in real time, and it can go off the rails. Sometimes I have to rein it in, but that's sort of the beauty of it.
Give us an idea when you talk about local artists and ones that put a smile on your face. I mean, obviously you're giving them a platform. So touch on maybe a few of the musicians, the artists that you have a chance to really help provide a platform for, that put a smile on your face in terms of doing big things in a future, that's bright for Memphis.
A lot of our DJs are those Memphis musicians. So Joe Restivo is an incredible jazz musician. He's got a jazz show here on the station. We have a lot of live acts that come through during Pledge Drive. We just had a really experimental act called Neon Glittery that's playing out a bunch. It's one of the first time that they've played on the air. And so just to see people come in and play live, and just the excitement around it, and the nerves, and but the joy that we see. We've had a ton of other acts come through.
I mean, tons of people come to mind. We got Degenerate Breakfast coming in soon. They're University of Memphis, still students. They're going to come by and talk about a food drive that they have coming up, not just music, but their activism and the things they're doing in the community. Raneem Imam, Taliba Safia, Deanna Sarad, just all across the board. But, for me, it's a delight that we aren't just platforming emerging musicians in Memphis, but telling the stories of legacy artists who maybe didn't get the opportunity to have their music shared far and wide. A lot of our DJs are playing from records. They're playing things that are out of print, these 45s that are caught in the corners of Memphis music history. And we have our stereo sessions as well, which is a seminar that we do. We pick 6 records that are sort of obscure from Memphis every year, and we just had our 4th season of sharing their stories and inviting people who were involved with the record to lead the seminar. And we listen to side A and listen to side B and have conversations in between. And we also have our Dowd Awards, which is a award ceremony that I devised to honor Black musicians who have not only given to music industry as professionals, but have given to our community in some way as well. So people who have other vocations, like Anita Ward, who sang Ring My Bell, the big hit in 1979, was a teacher for many, many years in our community. Dr. O.T. Sykes, who had a very obscure funk soul album in the 80s. But he's a dentist. He's in his 80s, and he's still practicing as a dentist in Orange Mound. People like Cherie Scott, who sings neo soul and felt like, she's never really gotten an award for her music because so much of her career, her professional work is devoted to helping women with reproductive services and sheltering when they need shelter, when they're not safe from harm, and all of these other things like that. So it's been interesting to give some power back to these musicians, because so often it can be difficult to launch a career. Many different things can happen. But in Memphis, particularly a city like ours, you can go to the grocery store and bump into somebody who's a killer guitarist. Or you can go to church and someone who played on Beale Street last night is playing in the bandstand before the pastor gets up to do a sermon. And so the musicians occupy so many different areas of our community, and they walk through our building all the time and they have a song that they want to share.
I love it. Well, and you alluded to the experiences in terms of having the artists come in and perform. And for many of them, it might be their first chance. So you get to see the nerves and watch the beauty unfold, which is amazing. I think all of this is the power of radio. You have some big upcoming events too. And so let's go ahead and dive in. You have Raised by Soundfest. So go ahead and start teasing us with some upcoming events.
Sure. And just to segue with that, I mean, we are the radio is the scaffolding that we build on top of. So we're on air 24/7. We've got 100 volunteer DJs, and it's running all the time. But it's these events, these arts and culture events that we do, and we partner with other organizations as this nonprofit entity is really what makes us more than just a radio station. That's kind of how we talk about ourselves. So, I mean, and it kind of does culminate at the end of the year with the Raised by Sound Fest. So December 6th, this on the first Saturday, we've been doing this our fourth year. We've done it the first Saturday of every December. Coincides with the marathon. It's after the marathon. But it's three events in one, really. It's a community event. So from 1 to 6, we do free music in the Crosstown, in the Central Atrium and the Crosstown Arts Atrium. We've got the University of Memphis Blue Tom Review of the University of Memphis students will be playing. We got Deanna Surratt, a great R&B singer, a soul singer from here in Memphis. Melinda is another up-and-coming indie band here in Memphis. And then 2 national acts, Jake Fussell, who's out of Oxford, but is a guitar player that does a lot of folk standards, and he's a anthropologist for music. And it culminates with Jay Som, S-O-M. They're an artist, a national touring artist, worked with Julian Baker, Lucy Dacus, Boy Genius. So we're really lucky to have them come in and their full band. And that's all free. So everything I've said is free. We've got community tables for nonprofits all around. You can learn more about them and other organizations. So that's part 1. Part 2 is already sold out. It's our big fundraiser with indie rocker Kurt Vile and Stephen Malcolmus, who both have Memphis connections. Kurt Vile's just about to release a record that he recorded here in Memphis. It's got a lot of Memphis ties. I've heard even a song that like calls out Memphis, so we're really excited about that. And Steve Malcolmus was in a band called Pavement, who recorded their second or third record here in Memphis. And then it all ends in our after party, which is another fundraising event. Which we'd love to see people out for that. It's a $50 ticket, which we've got food and drink and an incredible event with Cloudland Canyon based here in Memphis, doing all these incredible visuals in the atrium, along with Kid Millions. He's out of New York, coming down to collaborate with Larry Hurd. If you want to talk a little, Larry Hurd's amazing. So.
Well, yeah, he is. I think I might have to take this off the record, but back when I was at Daily Memphian, I called him the Otis Redding of bleeps and bloops. He is one of the most soulful house musicians ever. If you have ever heard a group like Daft Punk, when they team up with someone like Pharrell and Nile Rodgers, I mean that's a super ultra pop music version 30 years after of what he sort of laid the foundation for, which is sort of adding soul, sultry R&B kind of Sade type groove to the electronic dance music scene that came out of Chicago, New York, Detroit in the early 1980s after disco sort of took a dive on the radio, went underground, and he's one of these artists that built the foundation of that sound. And it's a treasure that he chose Memphis as his home.
He lives here
since the early 2000s, and has very quietly lived here and mentored a lot of young musicians to find their voice as well. And we're fortunate that he's wanted to give himself to the station as a volunteer, give his music and his craft and his curation for a few years now.
He has a show on Saturday nights too from 8 to 10. So that's kind of brings it all full circle for us.
Yeah.
So raisedbysoundfest.com, December 6th. We're really excited about it.
Yeah, and I mean, these are all the reasons why I love radio as a medium. I love the story. I love everything we're talking about in terms of all these amazing people who love Memphis, who pour into Memphis, who live in Memphis. And even, on the entertainment side, you alluded to Craig Brewer and people like Tom Shadyac. And like, there's so much amazing power here in Memphis and the storytelling and all of these amazing individuals and artists that really make our community so special. So carry that into year round. What are some ways we can support your efforts?
Yeah, so the easiest thing, it doesn't cost anything, is listen. So we're kind of your the antidote to the algorithm. I mean, you can have someone choose your playlist, that you have a person choose it and tell you, give you some of that versus the AI. And that we want to increase listenership. We think we reach a lot of people in Memphis, but there's a lot of people that don't know about us. And from there it's donate. So we are listener supported. We do a pledge drive twice a year, but we also we donate any time of year. We've got a lot of monthly donors. We have a lot of yearly donors. That's a great way to support us and come to our events. I mean, we have paid events, we have free events. So just showing up, that helps us. I mean, we're here to serve the community, and we want folks to show up and participate.
Well, where do we go to make sure that we're in the loop? So website, social media, where do we go?
Sure. WYXR.org. We've got a newsletter you can sign up for. We're really consistent. We send it out once a week. We've just started a brand new concert calendar email as well that you can find linked from that newsletter. We're also real consistent with our social media. So we post daily. We keep up with that. We've got an app. You can go to the App Store on Android or iOS, and that's a great way to listen. Every single show, we have over 100 DJs. Every single show is archived for up to 4 weeks. So if you find a show that you like, you can dive a lot deeper and get into that. So highly, highly recommend checking that out.
Good stuff. Well, Robby, JB, thank you for all you and your amazing team do to power the good. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Thank you.
Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services is proud to power the City Current Show. We're a people-first company that protects what matters most, the families, businesses, and trailblazers that keep our community going. As one of the nation's top independent insurance firms, Higginbotham is a single-source solution for business insurance, employee benefits, HR services, and personal insurance that's customized for you. We're here to serve you, the people you care about, and your community. Call 866-377-1959 or visit higginbotham.com.